Hi everybody. Happy Sunday. As the title said, I purchased my mobile boutique, and I'm just gonna go over some things in the trailer with you guys. I decided to do this video because it took me 3 years to be able to get to this point. And within this 3 years, I studied on YouTube and did online research for the longest. And there are some things I wasn't able to find online. And so I know there are people who may be interested in pursuing a mobile boutique. And so I wanted to share my story with them, those who are trying to get into a mobile boutique. Some things I've learned on this journey, and some things that you can do without, and also some things that you need to know before getting into this. So this video is not going to be edited, and so I'm going to make some things I'll just skip through it, and also make so I can make it short. So I'm gonna first go outside and show you guys from the outside, and we'll come in, then of course I'll share my story. Let me see if I can turn this around. Okay, so of course this is the outside of the trailer. Orientation is locked. Okay, so you may not be able to, trying to get the whole thing. This is the outside of it. And of course the ramp before you go in, and this is the inside of it. So this is a 7 by 12 Freedom trailer, and of course it's 2013 trailer. So it's actually the person who had it kept it very neat. He was using it to store his, is it AVT or AD something? He was using it to store his bikes in his home. So he had it pretty neat. There are no dents on the outsides, no leak, no, basically it's no major problems. Um, in the inside, I'm gonna turn this around. He has insulation. Actually, I just bought this yesterday, so I'm still going through it to see what's in, what I can take out, I can add on, and all that. So for the ceiling, he had some insulation in it. And of course, he has a radio in it. He has all the electrical powers, everything installed. And of course, he gave me a watch. um, he has AC heat system installed. He has some storage that was made. So basically, everything. Not everything, of course. He has some fluorescent lights or fluorescent tubes in here as well. So most of the things that I was going to put in it is already installed. Of course, he has a battery. Let me open this up. He has a battery that came with it, and some more storage space down here if I need it. This is a vent that was created. So let me put this down and turn it around so we can talk. So I told you guys it took me 3 years to get to this point. That was because although I've been in the clothing business for since 2014, I've always done events like pop-up stores during major events. I'm located in South Carolina, of course. I do design some of my clothing and accessories, and everything is with African print. So I've done I've been in business since 2014. Some of my clothing, I use it for fashion shows. So I organize fashion shows twice a year, in February and in July. And I've always wanted a business boutique, a mobile boutique, because one, I like to travel. Two, I don't like to be stationed. I always like to meet new people. I always like to showcase my products somewhere else outside my local community. So a storefront wasn't something that I was interested in. Of course, I looked into a motel or a storefront, and it was more expensive. I think the overhead cost was way above what I could afford. And I didn't know if I was going, since I don't like to be stationed at one place, signing a contract wasn't something that I could go into. So having a motor store wasn't on my choice list. So I had during my research, I came across a mobile boutique, and of course, right down here in South Carolina, I think it's about 10 people, the whole of South Carolina, with a mobile boutique. In Columbia, we have about two or three, and other Charleston and other places. The rest are Myrtle Beach. We have other places as well. So it's not common. It's not something that is common down here. And so I saw it's going to be a unique thing for me to do, and especially with me in African fashion, this was going to be something new for the community. So, so of course, if I'm able to bring this up, then I'm going to be the first African boutique on wheels here in the Columbia area, or in South Carolina, basically. So, how I got here. As mentioned earlier, it took me 3 years to make this decision. One, because I wanted to make sure this is something that I'm really interested in. It's not a mood thing that I was going through, that I feel like doing a mobile boutique. No, I wanted to make sure this is something that I would love to do. And like I said, I've been going to events and vending in events for since 2014. And carrying things outside of my home, outside of my car, became too much for me. As much as I love to go set up, when it's time to bring the things home, it becomes a hassle. It becomes very stressful for me. So I wanted something where I can keep my inventory without taking them out or moving them in and out of something. And so this was a choice that I thought was a good idea for me to do. One, I don't have to move my inventory out. This is sitting right in front of my house. When I come in, I can just park, and that's it. And if I need to travel, I don't have to pack my car. I don't have to pack a trailer. Everything is in, I just move. So basically, it was the best idea that I could come up with. Trying to find a trailer was a bit difficult because I didn't know they were that expensive. I was thinking it's just a container. Why is it so expensive? Let me turn these lights on. So I found out it was very expensive. I didn't want a 5 by 8, 5 by 10. I wanted something bigger than 6 by 12. And that's because, of course, if you're going to go do it, why not go big? And so I had started looking into trailers back in, like I said, 3 years ago. And every trailer, of course, I didn't know anything about trailers. All I knew was I wanted something for a mobile boutique. So actually, I had looked into trailers, I had looked into trucks, I had looked into buses, I had looked into vans. Um, the only thing that stopped me from going for a van versus a trailer was um, I am on a limited budget. So of course I didn't want to spend more than 10,000 to build a mobile boutique. I was blessed enough to be to get a grant from the South Carolina Arts Commission for $5,000. And so I wanted to, at least, if I am going to add anything to it, to build or start a boutique, I don't want to go above 3,000. Yes, I don't want to go above 3,000. So actually, I wanted to stay between 5,000 and $8,000. And so going for a car, a van, a truck, a bus was too expensive. When I could get something for $5,000, but of course it may have to be fixed, whether the engine, something with the air. It was always something wrong with whatever vehicle that I found. Two, it was going to be too much work to take the seats out, try to do insulation, try to build it to where I wanted it to be. And also, I was always concerned about, since I'm not able to get a brand new car. I'm sorry, I'm looking around because I'm finding, like I told you guys, I just bought this truck yesterday, so I'm finding things that I know I need to work on in here. So buying a car or a van, I knew since I didn't want to spend more than 5,000 on the vehicle, because I had 5,000 on the vehicle and I was going to add either 3,000 or 2,000 to finish it because I already have my inventory. So I found out if I get a car for $5,000, then of course I may have to spend more to fix it. Um, it could be either the engine had a problem, and of course you never know. You may be on the road and something happens, then of course your business comes to a halt because the car cannot move. Whereas a trailer, I have a smaller car which cannot pull this. So of course I knew up front if I should go in for a bigger trailer, more than 5x8 or 5x6, then of course my car cannot pull it. So I knew this going up front, that yes, I want a big trailer. Yes, I know my car cannot pull it, and I'm going to make other arrangements to pull the trailer. But of course, I wasn't going to buy a van or a truck that's used and can break down within the next couple of weeks or months right down the road. So to cut everything short, trailer was the best thing. It didn't matter how old it was, so far as it's in a good condition, it's not leaking. If I have insulation in it, or if I have it built to where I want it to be, it was going to be the best idea to have. And so that's the reason why I went in for a trailer. When it comes to cost, it was, of course, I said I wanted to spend, well, if I was getting a trailer, I didn't want to spend 5,000 on a trailer, and that was another thing. I had gone to some dealers and also we have only one dealer here in Colombia. Everything else I had to travel an hour away or 2 hours away to go to a dealer for a trailer. And so I went to one of the dealers here in Colombia, and of course, since I didn't have 5,000 cash for a trailer, and by the way, when you go to a dealer, they have to order the trailers. I'm not sure if it's every dealer or just the one I went to, but it was going to take about 4 to 6 weeks for them to order it, or for me to get the trailers or the trailer. I'm not. So oh. Oh, this thing has a CD player. I didn't know that. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. It has a CD player. Oh, I am so excited. So the last place that I went to, actually, all these happened within the last week. So the last place I went to, that was I think last week. I had gone in with the intention to finance the a trailer, and so I was willing to. Well, when he quoted me a trailer with everything in it, I wanted the AC unit, I wanted some windows, of course there is a full installation from top to bottom. What else did I want? I wanted to see if they can change the um well, I wasn't really interested in that, but it was an idea. I wanted to see if they can change the ramp into a bundle. And so that was they quoted me about $6,000 for everything to be completed, including the trailer. And so of course I was willing to go for $6,000 since everything was going to be in it. I think the AC unit by itself was over $1,000. Um, I think that was the major cost of and the trailer itself was 2,000 and some change. So a basic trailer without anything in it, that was a 7 by 12, was close to 25, 26, $3,000. With everything else coming in it, it came to 5,000 and some change, almost $6,000. And so I was willing to do $6,000, but if they were going to finance it, um, they pulled my credit, and I found out I don't qualify for financing. So that was a bummer. But actually, well, they didn't even tell me I don't qualify for finance. One, when I applied for it, it was during my lunch break. So I had just an hour to drive 30 minutes to the place to fill my paperwork and for them to do a background check or finance credit check. So I go back to, well, the guy told me I need to go and he's going to call me back when everything comes back. So I go into work. I went in at 12. It's about almost 5 o'clock. He hasn't called me. So I called back. And just to find out, um, I'm still waiting on the guy to get me results on your credit. So that was a little bit strange. If I have money and I'm trying to buy something, as a business person, I need the money. So I'm thinking I need to call this lady back to see how we can get the trailer to her, or if she's still interested. Nobody called me. So I kept calling and kept calling. That was when he told me, oh, you may need a co-signer on your financing because you didn't qualify for it. So I said, okay, I'm going to put my husband on it. So they get my husband's information, and that was last week. They still haven't called. So during all this time, of course, I didn't stop looking for a trailer. I am always on Craigslist. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LetGo. I'm on any app, also online, of course. I'll type in trailers for sale, and anywhere that I feel I can get a trailer, I was looking. So I have been doing this, I tell you, for 3 years. So, I happened to be on Facebook, and as usual, this wasn't anything new. I've been looking for trailers every time. And of course, when I'm looking for a trailer, I'm asking for the size. I was very specific on the size. I didn't want to go below 6 inch. Um, so it has to be either 612, 614, 618, or 710, 712, 714. That's how high I wanted to go. I didn't want anything bigger than 716. And of course, I don't want anything less than 612. So I have been looking on Facebook, been asking for prices, negotiating prices. Then this happened to come online. It was posted a week ago on Facebook. And of course, it's Christmas time, so you have to be careful about scam and all these things. So I saw this post for a 612 trailer. It was insulated, it had all the electrical connections that I needed. Actually, it looked very neat. The outside sold it to me. It was, I said, I need to have this trailer. One thing also that I wanted a black trailer. The outside had to be black. But for some reason, I was so attracted to this trailer. Um, all the trailers that I've seen at the dealers was too bulky and too huge. Although it's 7 by 12, it was too huge for me. But for some reason, I was so attracted to this trailer. So I reached out to the owner, and of course, we started talking. He gave me information. He said he's in Augusta, Georgia. Actually, it's outside Augusta. So it was, when I looked up, it was about an hour, 20 minutes away from me. And so we started talking, we started negotiating. He had it listed for 3,145. Um, I said, I am really interested in your trailer, and I really want to buy it. I'm paying cash if you need cash. Of course, it was 3,000, and I was willing to pay 3,000. I said, I have cash if you need me to pick it up tomorrow. I'm ready to pick it up. And so he actually I didn't even tell him I wanted to pay 3,000 for it. I said, I am interested in it. Can we negotiate the price? He said, yeah, we can do. He said, yeah, we can negotiate. So I said, how about 2,800? He said, no, but he can do 29. I said, deal. I'll take it, 2,900. So we of course, this was Wednesday, so the next day was Thanksgiving. So of course, everything was closed down. I needed to get cash out of my account. I needed or find out how. Of course, I wasn't going to do cash. I needed some kind of paper trail to go with it. So I needed a check actually. So of course, Thanksgiving, the banks are closed. So on Friday, I went to the bank and got the check, traveler's check, for 2,900. So, although I had a check with his name on it, I became scared. That's what the devil does. You know, part of what took me so long to get here was fear. I was always afraid of failing. I was always afraid of what if I should buy the trailer and tomorrow I don't feel like this is what I need to do. Then what do I do? I always had a fear of what if. And that stressed me out for I don't even know how many months. And so Friday I had his check, and I took a picture of the check and sent it to him and said, you know what? I have this check. This should tell you how serious I am. I am ready for the trailer. But also I was scared. I said, what if I give him the money and he kills me, or takes the trailer away and all that. So I had some friends that I was talking to. I said, I have this guy that has a trailer and I really, 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 really want this. I am ready to get a trailer, but I need to make sure this is legit. I'm not being scammed. So how can I don't want to, how can I run a background to make sure this is something that it's legit? So I sent this man a message. I said, I am interested in this truck, but also I am scared this is a scam. So how can you assure me this is not a scam? So he said, well, I works with the sheriff department in Columbia County. If you're going to feel safe enough, I'm going to bring a patrol car with me when it's time to deliver. Of course, we had agreed to meet at a Walmart parking lot in an open space where everybody's around. He said, I can bring a patrol car with me if I said, yeah, that would help. That would help me feel better. But still, I wasn't sure. So one of my friends suggested, go to the sheriff department here in Columbia. But meanwhile, I had gone online. Actually, he sent me, the owner of the trailer sent me his business card. Of course, with his name, his department, his cell phone number, everything on it. And so I went online, typed in his name. Of course, his Facebook account came up. And I had information where he lived, not his address, but at least it gave me an address. It gave me an idea that yes, he lives where he is. He had told me, and also it didn't show up any criminal record, so that was a good thing. I didn't do a background check now, but online at least, if somebody is a sex offender or has some kind of criminal background, it's going to show up. I didn't see any of those, but I still wasn't sure, so I started calling sheriff um, the sheriff department in the county where he lives at, to see if they knew anybody. Anywhere that I called, nobody knew him. So that was a red flag for me. Okay, it's getting too long, so I'm going to wrap it up. That was a red flag for me. So one of my friends told me to go to the sheriff department here in Columbia. So I go in the sheriff department. I said, I have a check of $2,900. I am getting ready to make a major purchase. This is a major purchase for me. $2,900. I can put that down the drain for nothing. I said, I'm making a purchase. This is the person's business card. I've tried calling anywhere in the county of Columbia. Nobody knows him, and I need to make sure I'm not being scammed. So they take the business card and they call this guy on the phone and interview him. It was so, well, I'll tell you guys what I'm thinking right now. So they interviewed him over the phone. Of course, first he was kind of shady over the phone because, well, he was a little shady. So one of the officers, they had 3 officers in there. Shout out to Officer Seal. He was the one in charge doing all this research for me. So one of the officers said, he sounds too shady, don't do it. I said, well, that confirms it. I don't have to go forward with it. But then one officer sitting behind them gets on the phone and calls, I don't know, whoever he calls. So he calls and the person picks up, and he said he confirms that yes, this person works with the sheriff department in Columbia County, and he asked them what is the number listed for this person, and of course they gave the number that he had listed on his business card. I said, okay, that helps me, that makes me feel better. So of course the sheriff, my Columbia County Sheriff Department confirmed this wasn't a scam. So before all this, I had text the person. Of course, we exchanged cell phone numbers. So I texted him. I said, "I'm still not comfortable. Can you send me your driving license?" For whatever reason, he sent it to me, y'all. He sent it to me. So he sends me a message. He said, "I don't know who you are, but right now you have my address, you have my driving license, and you have every information on me." I said, "You know what? I have gone through extremes just to make sure this wasn't a scam. And I don't even know you. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like this is God ordained." It's like this person was working with me, y'all. The police department was so helpful. I'm like, okay, God, I know sometimes I can make up my mind, but this is just too good to be true. So I told you all my car can't pull this trailer of this size. So I went to the U-Haul place to rent a U-Haul to go pull it from Augusta, which was well, outside Augusta, which is about an hour away. So I went to the U-Haul place Friday. They gave me an estimate of 100 and something change to come pull it. To actually rent the U-Haul to go pull it. But the other thing was we had arranged to go get a trailer at, excuse me, we had arranged to go get a trailer at, was it 12 o'clock? Yes, I think 12 o'clock. And the U-Haul wasn't going to be ready till about 2 o'clock that afternoon. And of course, the guy selling the trailer had to work. He had to go on patrol that afternoon, that evening. So we were on a time limit. So I texted him. I said, "Well, I'm at the U-Haul place. I'm trying to get a U-Haul to come get it." He said, "Call me." He texted me back and said, "Call me." So right before I decided to call him, I was on the line with one of my friends. Shout out to Promise. Promise had, who is a local musician here in Colombia. He had agreed to take me to go get the trailer because he has a truck that can pull it. So I was on the line with Promise when this guy texted me and said, "Call me." So I get off, we've made all the arrangements. Of course, Promise can't make it at 12 o'clock. He was going to make it at 1 o'clock. So just imagine. The trailer, U-Haul trailer wasn't going to be ready till 2. Promise and I wasn't going to get there till 1. So of course, all these were after the time that we had arranged to go pick it up. So I called the owner of the trailer. He said, I was going to reduce the trailer to 2,800 because I found a leak outside the trailer. But I can deliver the trailer to wherever you want me to deliver the trailer to for 2,900. Yo. All of a sudden, my heart stops. I said, "Okay, God, you play too much. First of all, you've given me this trailer with all these things that I was going to spend over $1,000 already in it for less than $3,000. Was going to rent a U-Haul to go pull this. That was going to cost me about $150. And you want this trailer delivered, everything for $2,900? Like, so here we are. After $2,900 later, I do have a trailer the size that I want, has some insulation in it, electricals, everything installed. Yo, if this ain't God, I don't know who this is. So, one thing you have to know if you want to go into this business, it was hard to find a trailer because I didn't have the money up front. Like I said, I didn't want to go, if I was going to pay cash, I didn't want to go above 3,000. If I was going to go above that, then of course I had to finance it because I didn't have the money up front. So you have to do tons of research. There are trailers available, but also there are scammers out there, especially with those holidays coming up. I remember somebody on Craigslist sending me a trailer for $500, but they had to deliver to my home. I had to give them my home address. I had to give them this. I had to give them that. It sounded too good to be true. So you have to be careful where you're getting the trailer from, who you're getting it from, and also do your research. One thing that I hate, I had to take this person through all these loops just for $2,900, but you can't be careful enough here. Unfortunately, we don't have to live in fear, but you can't be too careful these days. It's just so much going on in the world, you can't be too careful. So of course I wanted to make sure I was safe, my family is safe. If I'm taking people to go get a trailer, I wanted to make sure we're going to a safe place and we're meeting somebody who wasn't going to do anything to us. So you have to be careful about that. But beside that, everything is been great, and I can't. This wasn't my doing. Everything I attribute this to God because, like I said, although it took me 3 years and stress over stress about not being able to find a trailer, not being able to have the money to get a trailer, it took me three. It didn't take me 3 days. I found this on Wednesday. Thursday was Thanksgiving. Got the money Friday from my account. Saturday, it's already at my place. So it took me 3 years to go through hell and got 4 days. 4 days, y'all. 4 days for this to be delivered. So I am going to come back, take you guys through the process when I'm setting up. Of course, I need to put some shelves in here. It has some insulation at the top, but I don't know. I'm still trying to decide if I want something else. If I want to put more insulation and the walls, if I need to leave it this way, repaint it, I haven't decided yet. But as time goes on, I'll come in and keep you guys updated and also walk you through some of the things I'm doing. And this is because when I went on YouTube, I didn't find all these advice on there. There are people who has built mobile boutiques, but weren't as detailed as I wanted it. There were things that I wanted advice on. There were things that I needed information on that I couldn't find. So this channel is going to help anybody that is thinking about building a mobile boutique, step by step, what you need to do, or ways, just suggestions. I'm not telling you to go through what I've been through. Of course, if you have the money, you can go buy it already, everything already hooked up, but I don't. So some of these things I will be doing myself, and some of the others I may get friends who may know how to do it to, of course, help me out. But my next step actually from here is getting it registered. If you're in South Carolina, you don't need a tag for a trailer. So of course I don't have to go through that. But the title is still in the owner's name, so I need to change that to my name. Then of course I need to, my business is not LLC yet, so I need to do that. Then I can go ahead and start using it. As soon as I'm able to change my business into LLC, I'll be able to start using it. So for right now, it's sitting at home, resting till I can come up with the shelves and how I want to install things in here. Of course, it's just going to be clothing and accessories, so it's not going to be anything too heavy that is going to be put in here, but that's all I got. If you have any questions, you can just post it below. You can email me or follow me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Afric Style. It's like African style, but it's Afric, AFRIC style, STYLE initiatives. And the Afric Style is all together. Afric Style Initiatives on Facebook. It's Afric Style in on Twitter and Afric Style Initiatives on Instagram. You can follow me on those pages to find out what I'm doing in terms of the progress I've made to build a mobile boutique. As I mentioned earlier, I do fashion shows twice a year. My next fashion show is February 2nd here in Columbia, South Carolina, and it's going to be at Dent Middle School. I don't think the boutique will be ready by then because I'm planning on an opening. That's going to be another event. I just want to focus on the fashion shows because that's my baby. Next year we're going to be 6 years, so I want to focus on the fashion shows to make sure it's a success, and I'll plan an opening for the boutique for another day. I have some ideas of things I want to do with that event as well, so y'all stay tuned, but keep this channel subscribe to this channel so you'll be able to see my progress as I go on. All right, thank you all. I know this was a long video, but thank you for tuning in.